everyone. Welcome to PPE Quest, the podcast where we talk all about PPE and just like how awesome it is because it's awesome. And today, oh my gosh, I am so excited because today we went down under to Australia to have a chat with Rebekah McCutcheon, who is a fit tester or managing director of the company Fit Test Australia. And we had such a great chat talking about fit testing in Australia, how it's done, what are the challenges. And there was something that was really surprising to me. So listen to the interview, maybe you'll catch what that is. But it was such a great discussion. And I have to be honest, I was super excited to chat with someone from Australia. Like, oh my goodness. But that, again, that just proves that we're one world, we're one people, and safety is the universal language. So, yeah. Listen to the conversation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me over LinkedIn. My name is Laura Dorman. You can also get in contact with Rebekah McCutcheon as well on LinkedIn and visit her website, Fit Test Australia. And yeah, enjoy the episode. Hi, and I am super excited to introduce our guest for today. She's coming all the way from Australia, the other side of the world. I would like to give a big welcome to Rebekah McCutcheon. Hi, Rebekah.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm really well, thank you for asking. Excuse me.
Oh, no
I'm
problem.
well.
You're well. Okay, so as I mentioned, you're all the way in Australia. That means at the moment it's winter where you are, right?
It is. It's actually quite wet and windy and cold. It's miserable down under at the
Oh
moment.
no. Oh
Yeah,
no.
that's all
And here
right.
we've got beautiful weather in Switzerland, so come
Yeah,
over.
I swear I should be right now.
Yeah. So whereabouts in Australia are you at the moment?
I'm based in Sydney.
In Sydney. All right.
Yeah.
And yeah, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What do you do? Where are you, etc.?
So based in Sydney and
Mm-hmm.
like who am I? I guess I'm Rebekah McCutcheon and
Mm-hmm.
um I founded Fit Test Australia back in 2019 and
Right.
very passionate about the fit testing space and people
Mm-hmm.
and respirators and people's, overall well-being when it comes to their respiratory health. And
Yeah.
yeah, living in Sydney, I love it here. The first time I came to Sydney, I was like, I hated it, and I was like, give it a
Oh.
year. And after a year, you fall in love with the rat race.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, it's definitely a rat race, if I can say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you before?
I was only in Newcastle, which is 2 hours north of Sydney, which is really close by, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like completely different and you don't get back as often as you think you will. Just that tiny gap
Mm-hmm.
is a huge
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. So you founded Fit Testing Australia in 2019. What led you to this? What was the process?
The process was me being trained to conduct fit testing and
Mm-hmm.
like being trained was just shown what to do in like
Yeah.
5 minutes and sent out with a port
Oh,
account. So yeah, it was
no.
really poor. I think Australia, we're behind the rest of the world and it was still so new even in
Mm-hmm.
2019 that the standard for the service was quite low and it was not
Mm.
really accessible either. So um it just played on my mind a lot. So as I continued to like provide the service for a previous employer, I just took it
Mm.
on myself to learn as much as possible so that I was never caught off guard with questions or equipment
Yeah.
malfunctions. And then I kept thinking
Mm-hmm.
like someone should do this properly and someone should do it all the time for the people that call and we can't do it. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how it began.
Oh, wow. And so what were you doing before? You were working for a company that offered fit testing or?
Yeah, they delved into it and it was
Mm-hmm.
hazardous materials consulting. I genuinely
Okay.
loved doing
Oh.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was the space of fit testing. I just found that even though it was a little bit mundane and repetitious,
Mm.
it's a simple service, but something that a lot of people do quite poorly because it is so simple, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Definitely.
easier to
Mm-hmm.
switch off and just to go through the motions versus,
Mm-hmm.
take a bit of pride in it and execute it
Mm-hmm.
properly.
Definitely. So what is the regulation or legislation in Australia at the moment? Is fit testing mandatory?
You would say according to the Australian standards that it is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
State to state can vary a little bit, and then again, some states may be stricter on that requirement than others. So I think
Mm,
Queensland was really leading the way in Australia with how strict they were, and it really only hit New South Wales and Victoria in the pandemic, which is kind of sad that it took
mm-hmm.
such an event to recognise that respirators should be fitted to people or fit for purpose.
Yeah.
But then other states as well, like South Australia was kind of ahead of the curve. They did a lot
Mm-hmm.
of healthcare workers, I think 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're the state of excellence. So
Okay.
they definitely beat the rest of us. And yeah, it's slowly starting to become more and more recognised. I think it kind of is headed in that direction with the banning of the engineered stone that kind of led to like
Mm-hmm.
stricter requirements around people's respiratory health with such a deadly disease of silicosis,
Mm,
like, on
yeah.
the rise. Yeah.
Okay, so silicosis is probably is that one of the bigger ones in Australia, and asbestos, or what other like risks do you have to deal with?
Asbestos, I think, has been, like, the biggest one for the longest time, and I think
Yeah.
because it is such a bad disease and
Mm,
so many people still get diagnosed every year, it's like a few hundred. You kind of think of it something that we've put all these regulations around, that it's kind of
mm,
behind us now, but it's actually, yeah, still prevalent. And silicosis is on the rise as engineered
okay.
stone came in, and
Mm,
more young people, I think, were catching, well, not catching it, being
mm,
diagnosed with silicosis, which was, I think, a little more alarming because usually the asbestosis victims are of an older age. It takes a longer time to
yeah.
present in the body. So, yeah,
Right.
it's that shift in you can get it more, like, in a shorter
Mm-hmm.
amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. My grandfather actually died from silicosis. Fuck yeah.
Whoa, I'm so
Yeah. I mean, I
sorry.
never, no, I never knew him. He used to work in the mines,
Yep,
in Scotland. And I think also mining is a huge industry in Australia.
massive. There.
Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah, sometimes when I see what the people are wearing or not wearing, it is alarming. And in
It's still
2000,
like that in Australia, considering we are
really?
a massive mining country. The
Yeah.
respiratory protection could be better.
You'd think in 2025, people would have learned.
Put two and two together that you, yeah, should. It's I think that there's so much room for improvement still when
Mhm,
dealing with fit testing all the time. Like, that's our full-time role at Fit Test
mhm,
Australia. Just the questions you get that you feel like some of these people are work health safety reps that still don't really know. So you're like, is it a lack of education, or,
mhm.
um, are the requirements not strict enough or
Yeah.
written clearly enough? It seems like people are really confused in that space.
Mhm. What are the typical questions that you tend to get? What are the repeated questions?
Repeated questions are, do I really need to get a mask fit test? That's you'd be surprised how often we get asked that.
Oh
And
gosh.
then it's
Okay.
we use a lot more P2 disposable masks, like the FFP2.
Really?
So yeah, and that, I think, it surprises the rest of the world because
Mhm.
anytime I speak to anyone overseas, they're kind of alarmed with the usage that we have. I would say that it's probably, like, in my opinion, conservatively 70% of our fit testing would be in
Mhm.
disposables. It's quite
Wow.
high. Yeah.
That is high, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd even say that was very conservative. So majority
Mhm.
of our industries or the workers, opt for the P2 disposable, even though, because a face reusable is given the same assigned protection factor, but
Yeah.
not many people would know that. They just prefer a disposable.
Mhm. Do you know why that would be? Like,
I
is it
think
comfort or
I think
price?
it's just accessibility, and I think people
Mhm.
always look at price as the first point, not factoring
Really?
in long-term costs, because if they just broke it down just for 2 seconds,
Mhm.
disposables are far more expensive for workers to be, you
Mhm.
know, disposing of on a regular basis. Like, people can use up to 5 in a day.
Yeah.
That's not cheap.
No.
Even if you're buying the cheapest product, like, that adds up.
Mhm, and the cheapest product, I mean, is
Is
probably
not,
not.
it's gonna fail a fit test.
Yeah. It's gonna fail a fit test, and it's not gonna be comfortable, and yeah, exactly.
No, and that's the
Yeah.
saddest part. I think for me, it still breaks my heart to see people like trying to provide their workforce with protection, and you come on site and you see it's not good, or it's got the
Yeah.
ticks to say that it's, you know,
Mm,
standardized to the Australian standards, but you're like, it's never going to pass. And, you know,
mm,
everybody's wearing it, or they're wearing it poorly because they weren't trained, or they've still got all their facial hair. And you're like, we're so far from where we need to be in that space.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the question, what do I really have to have my mask fit tested? How would you answer that?
It's a tough one because you always just want to be blunt and go, yes,
Yeah.
you do. But you kindly just have to say, like, what are you using? What work do you
Hmm.
do? So you got to get a little bit of information from that person first, because people will ask to still fit test their loose fitting PAPRs, which you're like, that doesn't need a fit test. So that's
Hmm.
where you know that the knowledge gap is there, because they're not even aware that they've purchased this expensive device now that makes them exempt of a fit test, and, you know, it
Hmm.
caters to the facial hair. So um, that's the main one, is it doesn't need fit test. Do we need to fit test? What's the requirement around it? How
Hmm.
often do we need to do this is the next one. So I think that's
Yeah.
important.
Okay.
It's an annual requirement.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it hurts people. They're like, "What? I gotta
I
do this
know.
every 12 months." You're like, unfortunately, yes, until there's a change. That's
Yeah.
the case.
Well, minimum every 12 months. I mean, if there's
That's
any,
true.
yeah, changes to the
Changes,
face.
they change the
Mm,
respirator. I think that is a real big misunderstanding, is people knowing that they're meant to maintain the same use of the respirator they were fitted to, because often you'll go back onto site and they're wearing something
mm.
completely different, and you're like, we didn't not tell you. You either don't take it seriously, or,
Yeah.
you know, you just bought again whatever was at the nearest store. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
not ideal.
So no, it's definitely not. And with Fit Testing Australia, so you founded the company in 2019, and I've just seen that you have now 3 locations. You've got a new one that's just opened
Um,
up. Is that right?
we have 3, that's our 4th now in Perth.
Oh,
Yeah, so
congrats.
2 in Sydney, 1 in Victoria,
Hmm.
now in Perth, and we're hoping
Yeah.
to go to Queensland soon as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, growing, which is
And
excellent.
what's the model? Do you drive to your clients or do they come to you? Like, how do you
Both.
do it? Both.
Yeah, so
Okay.
when I think when I first started, I always thought it was just gonna be me.
Hmm.
And I was like, "It's just B2B," which it was at the
Okay.
beginning.
Mhm.
But then it's kinda like every time there's a group to do, you're always gonna miss a couple of people. So it was like people were like, "Oh, can we just send them to you?" And you're like, to my house?" So that's not ideal. So,
Yeah.
you open up an office and you're lucky to get 1 booking in a day, if that. So it
Hmm.
started out very humble, and then it evolved from that. So we have our offices that are open always Monday to Friday, and then
Hmm.
we are more on site to cater to our clients. But yeah, they can always send workers in, because there's always a couple that get missed. They fall through the cracks.
Yeah. Sure. Of course. And
Yeah.
so I think you also focus primarily on quantitative fit testing, right? With
Yes.
using the port account.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you deal with clients when you go to their, because obviously in the construction industry it's very difficult to use a port account. How do you deal with that?
We have to let them know upfront before we come out that we
Hmm.
require the room to be no greater than 20 meters squared, and
Okay.
it's just making sure that there is a suitable place for us to fit test, because sometimes people would expect
Mm,
you just to do it out of the boot of your car,
yeah.
which you've got to let them know it needs to be a controlled environment. So educating them first, making sure that they have an appropriate space, and if they don't on site, then potentially we go back to like their head office, or the
Mm,
first aid room usually doubles up as a,
okay.
yeah, really good fit test space.
Hmm. Yeah. And what challenges do you face when you're there, like with the workers? Is it easy or is each one sometimes a
It's
bit difficult?
The easiest part would be, yeah, like probably just you set it up, you get people
Hmm.
coming in, but the biggest one would be the facial hair. No
Okay.
matter how many times you alarm them that they need to be clean shaven, like we'll send constant reminders, and it's even written in red in our emails, like bold.
Oh
Like
wow.
they must be, yeah, we are a little bit harsh with our, it
Mm,
says strictly not compromise like the integrity of our testing, just so they know that don't even try and give us pushback, but I think people are blind to that red bold writing,
Yeah.
and we get the pushback every time. Oh, just try me anyway. I only shaved yesterday. When you can see it's definitely not
Yeah.
yesterday.
Mhm.
So that would be the biggest one is facial hair. And then the other one would
Mhm.
be the potential to get workers off the tools to come in. So sometimes you would only expect to be on site for a short time and they can drag it out
Mm.
longer than it needs to be based on
Wow.
the workers not being able to come off the tools.
Mhm. Okay. So yeah, because how long do you plan for each session? About 45 minutes or 30 minutes for each
I want to
test?
say actually only 20 minutes because we have
20 minutes.
yeah,
Okay.
it's actually quite short because
Mhm.
in Australia they adopted the fast filtering face piece for the disposables and
Yeah.
also for the quick face, the half face and
Mhm.
reusables is the test
Mhm.
is only 2.5 minutes. So you're
Oh,
more literally, it's quite surprising. We had one of the gentlemen, I don't know if you know, Scott, I think he's in the UK, but he came over and
mm,
visited us and he was shocked that we used to have the 8 minutes. It was 7.5
yeah.
test. But yeah, it's now dropped down to 2.5 minutes. So it's 2 minutes and
Oh.
29 seconds to be exact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the biggest part is entering their details, covering
Mhm.
the correct donning, doffing, their filter
Yeah.
change out, all of that. That takes up the most.
Mhm.
The test is, yeah, it's over before it starts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
straight into it. We don't muck around here.
No, no. Like, all right, we just get this done.
Yeah, like in and out.
Okay.
So
In and
it's
out.
in and out. So we say 20
Yeah.
minutes just in case they need retesting, but you can do it within
Mhm.
15 minutes and that's full covering everything. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. But that's a standard, I think, then just in Australia, probably. Or is
It's
that
the USA. So we
okay?
take from OSHA, so the Occupational Health and
Mm,
Safety Administrator. They set those guidelines that Australia really pulls all of our, fit
yeah.
testing from OSHA. So
Mhm.
they were the ones that I think I remember during the pandemic, whereas in a debate to be whether or not we should allow it, I was
Yeah.
all for it because at the time I was working with clients that would test up to 11 respirators per person on an 8-minute test that you just, and
Oh
these people were on
gosh.
call, they were healthcare workers, and you couldn't do anybody because they would have
No.
to take a call. You had to stop your testing and you only got halfway through a couple.
Yeah.
It was really chaotic. So
Yeah.
it was a welcomed, in my opinion, to shorten that right down.
All right. No, that's something I'll have a look at here in Switzerland
Yeah.
because
Get them to bring it in. Your life will
yeah.
change for the
Wow.
better. Yeah.
Because in Switzerland we currently have no regulation for fit testing. It's
Really? Just a best
yeah,
practice, is it?
even if like it's a recommendation, but no one really knows about it. I mean, I know
Yeah.
in certain European countries, like also the UK, is mandatory. In other countries in Europe, it's mandatory, especially with asbestos. But in
Mhm.
Switzerland, they're like, nah, we don't really want to force people to
That
do
is
that.
surprising because I would imagine Switzerland would have had more better
Mm,
practice in place with things like that. Like, you seem like you would hold a lot of benchmark,
yeah.
practices. Yeah.
I don't want to talk too badly about Switzerland in public, but
Not out loud. Tell me later.
but yeah. But I mean, we have very high standards here in Switzerland when it comes to the end products, but when it comes to safety, there's we have a lot. It's a democracy here, like
Mm.
a pure democracy, which means it's very difficult to put regulations through. So there is a lot of recommendations, and recommendations, yeah, it's not a must.
It's very grey. I think even
Yeah.
though Australia, if you read the Australian standard, some people would say yes, it is, and some people say now with
Mm,
like silica dust, it's legislated, which I think it
yeah.
has headed in that direction. But yeah, when it's a recommendation, if people can find a way around it, you can
Mhm.
guarantee that they will every single time.
Yeah.
Because like, do we need to do this? No, okay, and then the phone hangs up, and that's that.
Exactly. They'll find the loophole or something, and then okay, which is a sad state of the world if we really save on the protection and safety of workers, right? I
That
think.
You couldn't have said it better, to be honest, because
Mm,
in my opinion, even just talking to some people that have workers that wear respirators and they deal with other hazards, you'll
mm.
just say, have you considered fit testing? They're like, we don't deal with silica dust or asbestos, we're fine. And it's like, you deal with gases and vapors, like that'll kill them quicker than, exposure to silica
Mhm.
dust and asbestos.
Yeah.
But it's that, um, misconception that it's only relevant for certain hazards. I just really want people to understand it's respirators in general. It's like if you need to wear a respirator, it should be fitted.
Mhm.
It's
No, definitely.
it should be common
Yeah.
sense like that, but it's not.
It's not. But the thing is like when it comes to other thing, like I don't know, you also follow Nathan as well on
Yeah, I
LinkedIn.
do. Yes,
Yeah, I interviewed him before, and he has a fantastic marketing strategy where he offers condoms.
I think he's mentioned something like this before,
Yeah,
so you can fill me in on the rest. Yeah,
but like it's again, if there's a little hole in
yeah,
then people are gonna go crazy. But when there's a
yeah.
little
There's
gap in the
still
mask, then
chance.
it's like,
Yeah.
who cares? It's
Yeah,
like,
that's true, and you only need, like, the same kinda small gap for it to
yeah.
be
A
relevant,
little
right?
pinprick, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I really, I think that's really innovative. I would love to do it here, but it's a bit too
I think
conservative
it
here,
would
I think.
resonate with the men a lot better, that analogy
Yeah.
than, for me, I'm just like, "A little gap." The message isn't quite landing.
No,
I
but
don't
well,
need to
it could
adopt
change your
Nathan's.
life.
Literally, a little gap. I actually love that.
Oh, wow. No, that would totally work.
I think
Um,
Australians would
mhm.
love that. I think we've got a lot of that English humour in us from, we're all from the fleet anyway.
Yeah, of course. No. And I also noticed you mentioned that you only offer as I said, you only offer quantitative. You don't offer the qualitative method, or do you? Or
No, we
no, you
don't.
don't.
Yeah.
And I know in the UK, like the qualitative method is still very well used because it is cheaper and it's
Yep.
maybe people say quicker. But what's your opinion to the qualitative method?
Um, oh, I feel like I think a lot of people know where I stand with it. I
Mhm.
personally don't like that it's so subjective
Yeah.
for the person, and I think what I struggle to really comprehend is how relevant it is when it says when done correctly. When you see a lot of companies even trying to do it correctly, but when you're watching the content that they put out or even seeing pictures, it's
Mm,
completely done incorrectly, like facial hair
okay.
or no sensitivity test done first, sometimes no
Yeah.
hood that you're like, "Is it correct now?" And if no one witnesses it and they're left with the documentation at the end, it's
Yeah.
kinda like, um, it wasn't done correctly, but now is that worker still potentially safe or are they unsafe
Mhm.
with that respirator in that environment? So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think once you do quantitative enough, and especially how quick it is now, like the argument was that it was quicker for qualitative. Um, I personally just think that quantitative, it's objective. As a tester, you're always getting people to push back on your values and your standards personally, like accept the
Yeah.
facial hair, cut the corner, give me a fit test certificate without doing it. That you're kind of like, if you know what I mean, if you don't have a strong conviction in what you're doing, you could
Mm,
easily start to cheat the system for people. And I think
yeah.
qualitative makes it too easy for anybody to cheat it. It's the person being tested or the person doing the testing if there's a potential outcome that suits them to achieve that.
Mm,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, I also mention my dad quite often. He works in the construction industry in the UK, and he says when they do qualitative fit testing, he just pretends he can't smell it.
Yeah, I hear
So
that all the time. I
that's
think
it.
more
Yeah.
people tell me their opinion on it because they know I don't like it,
Mm,
and I think I hear
mm,
so many stories which I'm like, at some point, maybe we should wrap more, it needs to be more under more scrutiny if, people do it internally, or
mm,
maybe people shouldn't be able to do it internally if they're an organization, because again, it's like, to what standard are they doing it? I
yeah.
think it's too, like, it blows my mind that there's such a gap between qualitative is you can buy it off the shelf for $500 in Australia,
Hmm.
or you buy the port account, which is putting you back like about 32,000. There's no
Yeah.
in between. It's like you're either doing it super cheap and
Mhm.
really subjective, or you're doing it objective at a massive cost to the business. If you're only doing a
Mm.
few people, it's not worth it.
No, no, no. And how would you rate the quality of fit testers in Australia? Obviously, with your company, they're all going to be tip top, but
They're amazing. No, I think that it has improved over time. So
yeah.
ResFit was founded in 2020 in August,
Hmm.
and since that they founded, I think more people have jumped on board to show that there's a level of competency that comes with that service. So I think that that's an amazing thing that's happened.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and I definitely think that, yeah, more of that. There needs to be more people going through accreditation to do it, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, we needed that. I think there's Fit
Yeah.
to Fit in the UK. I'm not sure what's in America, but yeah, it's kind of like how what makes a competent person.
Hmm.
It's knowing the Australian standards really put it down to someone who knows how to operate the equipment and interpret results, which it sounds simple, but when you fit test enough, like it really is a
Hmm.
gap between someone who's just new and someone who knows what they're doing. Like people come into our company and say, I couldn't get past in anything previously. And you're kind of like, I know the mask that you were
Okay.
testing, like that's not possible. And then when you pass them, you realize it's just the competency of the tester and how able are they to get that
Hmm.
communication over the line to the person as well with their instructions.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
mm,
I
like
mean,
easy
we
to do, but easy
mhm.
to stuff up. I'll say that every time. So,
Mhm. No,
yeah,
definitely. I mean, we also offer like in Switzerland, we offer trainers training for fit testers, and we do an exam at the end. Obviously, it's not
yeah,
as regulated as in America, as in the UK with Fit to Fit, but we're working on it.
yeah.
Because for us, it is important that the person who does the fit testing, yeah, they got to be able to do it. They got to be able to understand what they're doing, why they're doing it. They need to be able to communicate well with the testee because it's a very intimate test if you think about it. Like it's one on one, and they
Mm,
also need to be able to or convince the worker that what they're just doing right now, it's not just some stupid, well, we
tick
do
and
the
click.
full, yeah, just to get the certificate. Like there is a real reason why this is happening, why we have to test for the seal. And yeah, it's difficult. Not everyone, we've noticed that not everyone can do it.
It's
So
kind of you're right, not everyone can do it, or I think not many people do it with a lot of heart, and I think it's the
mm,
heart in you that does it that's gonna be the person. It's like anything. It's like you could flip burgers at McDonald's and flip it
mhm,
because you're there for the money, or you can flip burgers
yeah.
at McDonald's because you're passionate about making sure that that person orders lunch, they're getting a meal that was made with a bit of love, like
Yeah. Yeah, of
I know that's a silly
course.
analogy, but it feels like
Yeah.
anything we do, you can either do it, for the wrong reasons or because you genuinely care about what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think the love and the respect aspect is very important, especially when it comes to worker safety.
Yeah.
It's not just about the money.
I
Yeah.
literally was having a conversation with one of my team the other day, and as her and I were talking, we are talking about, the fit factors. I'm not sure if the audience will understand that, but the level of
Mhm.
the pass and in Australia, you're like, it's probably the same in Switzerland where, you've got the standard of what's a pass. But for us,
Mhm.
when we start to know the product, it's like when someone only just passes or passes very
Yeah,
poorly compared to other people, like your conscience really kicks in, and we will
it
try to
does.
get them better results, like changing sizes, changing masks. And sometimes they're like, no, no, I'm fine with this. And you're like, it just scraped by. Like, are you
Exactly.
fine? Is this repeatable?
Yeah.
So the conviction's there, and I think it really made me happy to realize that my team have adopted that we're there for the worker, and that's our passion.
Mhm. Yeah, that's something that we also explain, like, if they do just, like, is it also 2,000, for example, for full face masks in
No,
Australia?
we're
Oh.
really low over here, so
Oh,
500.
500.
And it
Okay.
depends on what the workplace exposure. If they wanted the signed
Mm,
protection factor of 50, then you're gonna put it at 500, but 1,000 it says for better practice,
Oh,
or if they
wow.
wanted
Okay.
the APF of 100. So, we
Uh-huh.
just set our pass for all full faces at Fit Test Australia at the 1,000 benchmark, because again, we don't know what people are
Wow.
doing.
That's yeah.
Yeah, so even if it's 500 and it technically should have passed, we don't accept it because, again, a full
Okay.
face should achieve a better fit.
Yeah.
So we're very strict.
Yeah,
But
that's good.
I think it
Yeah.
upsets people, but you're there to explain to them, like, if this isn't repeatable, if it just scrapes by, what's happening
Mhm.
when you're a little bit not in test mode and having someone instruct those
Exactly.
results. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially if you are in a different working environment and it's like a little bit hotter and then maybe it slips a little bit or it's sweaty.
Yeah, or
You
they
want to
don't
be
do it
able
up as
to, yeah,
tight. Like, that's
exactly.
subjective, putting it
Yeah,
on. It's kinda like one day they care and that's nearly every person that I fit test, I always have my little spiel, and at the end, I'm like, "This needs to be repeatable. You need to,
hmm,
don it how you were trained here today, and,
yeah,
we're trying to make sure that you can achieve the results we got today," and you can just see them just nodding like, "Yep, yep, yep." But you're like, "This is
yeah,
what we're aiming for, is, like, repeatability of wear and
yes.
to the standard that it achieved that
Hmm.
result." So, we're people, we're gonna cut corners, so they're gonna go
Of
straight back to
course.
work and just throw it on and think it's
Hmm.
gonna provide them the
Yeah.
protection just because it passed the fit test.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And have you had any success stories? Like, have you had any companies come to you and say, "Oh my gosh, it's everything's a lot better now that we're doing fit testing"?
I have had you don't hear it too often, I think because people don't want to do it, and it's kinda like if they
Yeah.
admit that it probably benefited 'em. Had a few, I'm gonna say 2 that stood out to me. Was a gentleman that, I remember doing him in the pandemic, and he was just so difficult. Like, he failed all on one of the testers, and their protocol at the time was if they failed with one tester, they had to be tested with another. And
Oh.
I just remember, yeah, that was just a process in place just to be like, was it the tester or
Mm.
was it genuine? So, and when the gentleman came to me, he was difficult. He didn't want to do it. He hated masks. He was a paramedic.
No.
And it was like, you really need this with the patients
Yeah.
you're collecting in those vehicles. But yeah, at the end, like I passed him in something, but he came back to me days later and he just sat down and he was like, I'm actually so grateful that you had the patience, you actually persevered and put up with my BS. And I asked him and he said, since he's been wearing it, that he noticed such a massive change in his own, like, respiratory health. He just said that he wasn't as congested as he used to be, like, he wasn't as susceptible, like, to what patients maybe had. He just said overall he felt better. And, yeah, he came back to sit down and give me gratitude, and it was this old hard chip shoulder bloke that
Oh.
I think, yeah, nearly my eyes nearly watered because I was like, "Wow, the fact that you were so humbled enough to come and to let us know that you were being
Mm.
difficult and that, you didn't see the point of it, and now you had a 180 turnaround to say that, yeah, it really benefited him." And some organizations have said that they noticed like a 40% lower sick leave, and that's in
Okay.
healthcare. So that
Wow.
was huge. That was again, it was back to a paramedic, an
Mhm.
ambulance organization. So I think construction workers are less likely to give you their success
Sure.
stories. They're kinda like, "This is a tick and flick, we're just doing it because we have to." Which I think in time, I'm hoping to change their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think the future is gonna be? Like, how is there any changes coming up for fit testing in Australia, or what's your plan?
I think a lot of organizations are adopting the PAPRs as a
Yeah.
better practice, and I couldn't be happier for it. And people always
Mhm.
say, "Aren't you worried like it's gonna put you out of business?"
Mhm.
And I often laugh because I think I wasn't in this for that reason.
Yeah.
And if we can get workers to wear respiratory protection that actually provides them a higher protection than, the disposables that they're opting for now,
Mm.
it's a beautiful thing. And I'll find something else to do. Like, the world is abundant. So
Yeah.
I think fit testing, it will only get stricter in Australia. So I think more companies to not have to annually go through those motions of, get them clean shaven, get them ready for the test, and they don't continue. My biggest pain point is how industries don't, it's systemic that they don't mandate the clean shaven, so they
Yeah.
do it for the test and then that they're not going to maintain it. So it's a bigger pain in their backside to get the workers to be compliant for the fit test, but, it's not how they continue to carry out
No.
work. So I'm all for the PAPRs. I think bring them on, put me out of work.
Yeah.
Let's do it tomorrow.
Definitely. Yeah.
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 So
No, I mean, PAPR does with the hood, it does really solve the problem with the shaving, because that is a huge issue. I mean, that's
it
a
is.
massive issue,
It's
and
not for every class.
understandably.
Yeah.
No.
And look, a lot of there are gentlemen that genuinely do suit their beards. Some of them come in clean shaven. I think you look so much better clean shaven, but you're never going to tell them that. Or some of them
No.
suit their beard that when they shave, you're like, I can see why you love your beard.
Yeah.
But it is, it's personal for everybody. And I always think to myself, it's how they identify themselves. Like
Of
for us,
course.
it's just a bit of facial hair, like get rid of it. But for them,
Mhm.
it's like they look at that person every day in the mirror, and that
Yeah.
bearded person is who they are and how everyone recognizes them. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's personal integrity. I mean, it should
Yeah,
also
it's
be
your
protected.
personal preference of how you wanna present yourself to the world, so yeah,
Mhm. Definitely, but
yeah.
health is
Health
extremely
is
important, so
priority, but,
yeah.
you know, looks can be second to to your health. Our looks are gonna fade
Definitely.
anyway.
Eh, that's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, so Rebecca, seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having
Yeah,
me on the podcast.
such
It
a
was a delight to be asked.
yeah, no, great conversation, and I hope, like, I have it in my dream journal that I wanna come to Australia, meet you in person, and
Oh,
see
that
how
would
you
be
guys do
lovely.
it. I would love
Yep.
to do that,
And
so
you'll be
yeah.
like you said, you'll be so surprised. Scott couldn't get over it. He was like, "Well, that was just you." He was like, "Not this or no," and I was like, "We used to be, but it's been years now of the quick method."
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'd love to have you out here and to
No,
show you how we do it down under.
love to see that, love to see that.
Yeah.
Alright, well then, honestly, I wish you a great day. Thank you again, and yeah, hopefully talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a
Alright,
lovely rest of your day.
you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.